What's up, everybody? Welcome to Live from the Bench. It is your host, GQ and Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Season 4, Episode 4
Oh, the
of
way you got it written, it looks like episode 34. Ain't no
Dude,
way. But they can't. But that's what it says on the screen. Season 4, episode 34.
listen,
Eagles
I could
free
barely.
agency. Because that's what we're talking about today. Eagles free agency. Eagles have
Oh,
not
man.
been major players, but I mean they have been because a lot of teams have went after the people wearing their jerseys last season.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes when you reach the top. People are going to come for your riches.
Yeah.
So it is what
They
it is.
signed everybody but James Bradbury.
Right. I mean, that's
So-
more a testament to his growth as a player. I mean,
Yeah.
growth doesn't always mean you go up, you know.
Yeah.
So
You can grow down.
mhm.
I've seen it
that would be
happen.
the case with Bradbury's growth as an NFL player. He's definitely backslid as it was. And who would really want him at this point?
Yeah,
I
you might
wondered that
want to.
personally about some people that were picked up, like, well, one in particular, I was surprised. But yeah, I mean, where do you want to start? You want to start with the big one, the extension of Saquon?
Yes, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley got an extension, and of course, I think he deserved it. Like, he definitely deserved it after the year he just put on. Like,
did he?
like in my mind, he broke the record. But I mean,
Mhm.
even though he didn't, in my mind, he broke the record. He deserved that. Like, I mean, I don't see any reason why anybody would think that re-signing Saquon or giving him extension. What you don't want to do is allow somebody like Saquon to walk, even if he doesn't put up those kind of numbers for the rest of the year, rest of his career. You hold him as long as he is able to produce those numbers.
I mean, yeah, let's be realistic. It's highly unlikely that he comes close to those numbers next season.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
I mean, because that was like a 1 in a million kind of season, especially with the big plays and all of that. Who's to say that we can rely on that next season? New coordinator, new schematics. Who the hell knows what it's going to look like realistically? I mean, they got players on the trade block that been mainstays for a good 3-4 years at this point. Like Goddard, who knows what it's going to be like? We don't. Like, who knows what the line's going to look like? They just made the trade with trading CJ GJ out for Kenyon Green. A lot of people saying that one's not so good. Kenyon Green's kind of got that bust stink on him coming off the Texans. I think that's What do you think? You think?
I think that this trade, the CJ Gardner-Johnson trade for Kenyon Green, I don't think it benefits the Eagles at all. I mean, I get it. They have a guard weakness, but I don't think that Kenyon Green steps into it and recovers the way Mekhi Becton. I mean, it is a great possibility that Stoutland can make Kenyon Green acceptable. But Mekhi Becton, and I'll just make sure I put this out there, a lot of those runs that Saquon had were behind those two guards in Dickerson and Becton. I think, you bring in Kenyon Green. He replaces maybe one of those guys that you lost. However, if you can get Mekhi Becton back, go get Mekhi Becton back, because I'm not confident that Kenyon Green's going to step in and be able to hold the line the way Becton did. And I feel like the trading away CJ Gardner-Johnson definitely did leave a hole in the secondary. But we already had a hole in the secondary when Slay left, and CJ Gardner-Johnson going away also leaves a hole. So, and the fact of the matter is, you leave a hole, you got to fill it now.
Giggity.
and it makes you want to ask the question: are we confident in Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo enough to step in? Take that.
Well, for now, it appears Howie and Vic are, and I mean, at this point, I'd have to trust their judgment.
Absolutely.
But personally, I wouldn't have complete confidence in that now.
Yeah. And it's not to say that I don't think Keely Ringo can do it because I think Keely Ringo, you allow him to get some time under his belt to actually do it because these haven't been tested. I don't think Keely Ringo's been tested enough to know whether or not he can actually guard a team's number two. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I mean, I don't think we've seen enough tape on him to be able to do it. Now, I've
Right,
seen Sidney Brown step into a position where he had to start. And even though I've said it many times on this show, I'm a big Sidney Brown guy. I'm not confident enough to say that Sidney Brown is going to be able to, for one, guard somebody,
right.
guard like a team's number one tight end, because I feel like you put him against a Gary Kittle or Travis Kelsey or a Mark Andrews, he's going to get cooked. You put him against
Absolutely.
what's his name? Cleveland Browns, David Njoku, he's going to get cooked. So I'm not confident in Sidney Brown's ability to cover. And I've seen way too many times where Sidney Brown has over pursued on a tackle where he should just be able to line up somebody and just lay the wood on them. I've seen Sidney Brown just completely overshoot the tackle where he could just make plays if he wasn't being as aggressive. I love his aggressiveness. I love his tenacity. But there's a such thing as being over aggressive and over pursuing and completely messing up where could have been a wide open big play, big stop play where he just like misses. He don't miss the tackle. He just misses the person completely because he over pursues. And I think that's something that maybe Vic Fangio corrects that.
Mm.
Um, maybe Vic Fangio thinks to himself, Sid Brown at 210, 212 can drop down and play a little linebacker.
Mm.
That's also an option. I don't know. I just have to put the trust in Vic.
Yeah, I mean that's all we can do with the majority of these players. I mean, you got like Morrow and Jomo, basically probably being a new starting linebacker. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I haven't looked at the readings of the depth chart yet, but he could be stepping and replacing Sweat. Who knows?
So, I
Like
so
that Sweat signing is kind of. I feel like that hurt, but it was bound to happen. He's going back to Arizona with Jonathan fucking Gannon. His lame ass.
yeah, that's so. I feel like, and that's like another person that where because they took Kazera White from the Eagles and
Mm,
that didn't pan out for him. He took Sweat, and let's hope that can pan out for him.
I'm not hoping
Um,
that pans out. I'm hoping that's a total fucking waste. I hope Josh Sweat turns into a fucking bust. Like,
maybe he does because
not
it's
to really
Arizona.
wish evil on him. I ain't wishing that he get actually hurt or some shit. But you know, with 19 mil a season, I do hope he turns out to be a bust because anytime the Arizona Cardinals get the egg on their face, they get to looking stupid with the sourpuss with the Patrick Mahomes. That's a good day. So,
Mm,
especially if it's Jonathan Gannon making the face. So I do
yeah.
hope that Sweat pick, that 4 years, 76 million. I do hope that that blows up in their face.
Oh, that was the number. I didn't get to see the number yet.
Mm. I don't have the guarantee
76.
right here, but yeah. It's not a crazy contract, but yeah, like the Milton Williams contracts. Did you see that one?
I didn't.
They paying him like he a top guy. 4 years, 104, 26 a season, basically. But again, I don't have the numbers, but all that cap space
Desperation.
New England had, they just threw a big chunk of it as at a big ass maybe.
And that's what's crazy to me because like these teams that go out and sign people to such horrendous contracts like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to remember that one player can't completely change your team. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people will sit here and say that Saquon completely turned the Eagles around. He didn't. He didn't turn the Eagles around. The Eagles were still a winning team, a playoff
Mm-hmm.
team before Saquon did. He just gave that team the extra push. Milton Williams is not going to give the Patriots enough push to get them back into the playoffs. Josh Sweat's not going to be enough to get definitely not Josh Sweat. It's not going to be enough to push the Cardinals into the playoffs, especially when you barely even like the quarterback you have in Arizona. So
Can barely trust the quarterback he had, although he was kind of improved this season. Doesn't seem like he didn't have his head so deep into his damn PlayStation 5 or whatever. He was
that's
kind
because
of
Call of Duty
focused.
sucked this year.
Well, I got sick of Call of Duty years ago, but that's beside the point. I mean, you're talking about desperate signings, though. Like, wishing on a star. We got AJ Dillon. And, I mean, people, I'm sure, want to get a little excited about it, but Bo missed last season with a neck injury. Hey, it was clavicle, but still up there. I mean, do you really want that dude taking contact up there? Big as he is, he's not going to be shaking and baking. He's going to be running through people, lowering his shoulder, and he's
Mm-hmm.
already got some wear and tear going.
Yeah. I feel like I would have loved to see this happen maybe 3 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted AJ Dillon in Philadelphia 3 years ago. Just like when the Eagles signed LeGarrette Blount, I wanted LeGarrette Blount 3 years prior to that.
Mm.
Now it's just like you got him after the fact, and he's just like a big body, and I feel like it doesn't really change anything. Because it's kind of like you lose Gainwell. I guess you could say Shipley steps into that Gainwell spot, but
Mm-hmm.
that just means that AJ Dillon is just because he's not going to be that bruiser back on the goal line because we already have our back on the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
We already know who our running back is at the 1 yard line. Who you giving it to? Jalen. You're gonna push that
And if
tush.
not Jalen, then you got Saquon. I mean, the only time he sees the field is in a God forbid situation. Realistically, to me, this is like his last shot to even make a roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's what, 26? He's young, but considering the injury and the fact that he missed last season and a couple games in the season prior with this same injury, like it lasted that long. But he got medically clear, but how long is that going to last, really?
Right.
So I don't think he's going to make it to the regular season. Like, I don't think he's going to be on the roster come September at all. I just think right now he's on the roster. They'll bring in more people, and he'll get cut sometime in August. I'm not getting my hopes up on this.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Eagles might even draft somebody
Absolutely
because
don't draft somebody. I mean, like, look at the free agents that are out there right now. I'm just going to go off of people that I think could be more useful. You got J.K. Dobbins right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got the ghost of Miles Sanders, whatever he's got left. You got Gus Edwards. You got Mostert, whatever he's got left. Got Madison, who is probably, I mean, he's not great, but just as young as AJ Dillon is. Point is, there are other options out there. You could even take a chance on Kareem Hunt. We know he doesn't have much. Cam Akers, we know he doesn't have much. Even look at bringing Trey Sermon back. We know what he is, but hell, he's not going to possibly die on the field from getting his neck and clavicle snapped. Just saying, there's better options alone in free agency, or at least more safer options in free agency. But I'm not Howie. Howie knows better than I do. I would have signed him too if I could have got him. I don't know what the numbers are, but like 6 million or under, yeah, absolutely. Why not? Take a chance on him. What's it going to cost you in the long run? It's a 1 year deal. If he doesn't make it through, then so be it. I like it though. That said, I like it because he's young. He's a big boy. He's kind of a Nick Bruiser. He'll pound it. We could use that. There's a place for that. There's always a place for that.
Agreed.
I mean, you got a power guy backing up Saquon, and you got a receiving guy backing up Saquon, like a dude who can catch it out the backfield, possibly line up on the boundary in the slot, possibly. There, it just adds more flexibility to the offense, to the run game.
Yeah,
So, I
I
mean, I'm
agree.
not saying I'm against it. I just don't think it's going to play out the way it hopefully would. Best case scenario. That's all. But I do hope it works out because football is hard and you're risking a lot when you're out there. So if you're going to give your life for it, I hope it doesn't actually cost you your life, I guess. Good luck, AJ Dillon. Welcome to the Eagles. Better not be a waste. Moving on. Good news, though. The Eagles did bring back the one piece they really needed to bring back, and that was Zach Bond. What was that like? 3 years, 51 million, 34 guaranteed.
Hmm.
For all the bad that happened, we're not even done discussing that because we didn't really talk about Milt Williams at all. But I mean, for all the bad, at least he brought that piece back.
Yeah,
'Cause that was the key piece. That I believe that guy, along with the rookies in the secondary, really turned things around for us. So,
I agree with that. I feel like he's like, not only did we need to bring him back, it was like before you do anything, you had to secure that. Like, I feel like
mhm.
even before you secure Saquon Barkley's contract, you bring him back, and
Right.
and that's because like Philadelphia has not seen a top tier linebacker on their team in a very long time. And I'm not going to sit right here and say that Zach Bond is a top tier linebacker, but I'm also going to say that he gave you top tier linebacker play.
His
And
name is Bad Bad Zeroy Bond. That's his name.
and it's just like you can't, because if you get somebody who puts up production like that, and that's not like, I don't know if you can necessarily say that linebacker play can be a fluke, because it's just like I don't looking at the way that's I don't,
Mm. I mean, I think if you can consistently tackle you, that's just not something
yeah,
that goes away.
yeah, and I feel like
Maybe you
it
get
was
stuff slower,
too
but
productive.
yeah, I can't
Yeah,
imagine that's the case. No.
he was too productive to for that to be a fluke because the production was there and it was like never a point in which Zach Bowen wasn't in a play or around a play. And it was the same thing because in this in almost the same point, you say the same thing about Jalen Carter. Well, like Jalen Carter didn't get a lot of snacks. But if you ever look around a play that's like whenever a quarterback is getting ready to throw a pass, Jalen
Mm.
Carter is right there. Jalen Carter is always in the picture. So, and that's where you look at Zach Bond. Zach Bond's always in that picture, and that's not one of those things you can say that just by chance. So that's just effort, that's tenacity,
Mm.
and that's just somebody just being having really high football IQ because he's just being smart. That interception he made against the Kansas City Chiefs, you could say that was an accident, but no, he was smart enough. He was reading Mahomes and he caught that interception. I've looked at that play so many times. Zach Bowen was reading that play. You
Right.
should and just by him being the smart quarterback, the linebacker that he was, the fact that he caught that interception was talent because him reading the play, he was already reading the play to go somewhere else. The fact that the ball that Mahomes was under pressure so much that the pass was off, it would have got intercepted even if the pass was going in the right direction because Zach Bond was reading it the whole way. It just so happened that the pass had a weird trajectory, and Zach Bond did the talent play to adjust his body and still get the interception. Um, I feel like that's just one of those things. Was like it's a long ways away from it being a fluke. We needed him. We had to get him back before we sign anything because he's like that centerpiece that you needed for a long time.
Right.
And one more thing, I feel like Zach Bond's play level of play elevated N'Kobe Dean.
Go on.
Yeah, because I feel like N'Kobe Dean has kind of been like in that point in his career where he's just like right here on the cusp of like not doing anything but doing a little bit but not enough to where we've seen a great deal of progression this season. And maybe you can credit that to Vic Fangio. But at the same time, like just having somebody right there next to him elevated his game because just like it rubbed off on N'Kobe because maybe N'Kobe Dean's a lot better of a linebacker than we all thought he was. I mean, I lost hope in N'Kobe Dean. I'll just be
Yeah.
honest. I've lost hope in him. He was
I
been
mean, I
like the
was
third or
thinking
fourth.
anyway on the young talent. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's been like the third or fourth linebacker on the roster for like the past 2 years.
Mhm.
Like
Well,
he's been like
we've seen
best
there's the
over.
value of a good coach.
Yes. So he elevated the coaching, elevated his game, and him not having to feel the pressure or have to endure the pressure of being the main guy on that linebacker squad elevated his game. It might have been a whole like he didn't feel like he can handle it, and I don't know. I don't know. It could be anything. I can't sit here and just assume. Just that's just where I feel like that may have been one of those things because I know I couldn't do this show without Boulevard, and I feel like just having Boulevard on the show, being a solid co-host, that me as a personality, I'm that much better having Boulevard. So it's just it could be just that having that core around you that you perform better as well.
Right. I'm sorry. I did not pay attention to any of that. I was looking. I was
It's
trying to
all right.
figure out this thing for the next thing. As long as you was cooking, I'm sure they was listening.
Oh, he
So,
was cooking.
all right. I mean, you want to talk about the Isaiah Rogers signing? Is there much you got for that?
Isaiah went to the Vikings, right?
Two
What was
years,
that?
15. 2 years,
Yeah,
14. Not much.
he didn't get much. I feel like Minnesota might have got a steal there because I think
Potential.
yeah, I think as Isaiah Rogers, like not being the number one guy there, I feel like he would have been somebody we would have preferred to have take that spot for Slay
Mm-hmm.
before N'Kobe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't really got the didn't say N'Kobe. I mean Keely Ringo. I'm sorry,
Yeah, it took me a second. But
but I feel like he might be somebody that we may be like, oh shit. It may be something like, damn, we ain't try
he
hard
could
enough.
go to another team and take off, or he could be Hank Basket. Who the hell knows? Who knows? Obviously, him going to Minnesota, I'm hoping he ends up with a show with his playmate wife. So that's my
Damn.
opinion on that. I mean, now, back in the real
Ain't
shit that
Basket.
actually affects the team, Darius Slay went to the Steelers. 1 year, 10 million.
I hate to be one of those people that say like, when you like somebody and then they leave and then you just hate that person. I was like a big fan of Darius Slay up until this offseason. I don't like that man no more. He talks so like he was just talking greasy.
A lot of
He
Eagles
was
fans feel that way now.
talking greasy and then I don't like bull. Like, come on now. You gonna sit here and call your quarterback that got you a Super Bowl. You
Right.
calling that man? You saying he not elite? Even if he not elite, you don't say that shit. It don't need to come out your mouth. You don't need to say
Right. I
nothing.
mean, support your teammate, even if
Like
you
you ain't
lost
had
the
to
team
say
at that
nothing.
point. Like I
Like I
had to
don't
go
like it no
double
more.
check because I wasn't sure if he was the one who started talking shit after he left last time. Like he went to the Lions, but I feel like I'm getting him and CJ mixed up. So I do that. I don't know why. Something about short term memory.
Oh shit. Oh snap. That's
What?
crazy.
What?
I didn't even put two and two together.
So he is the one that went to the Lions, started talking shit.
No, it was CJ. CJ
Okay.
Gardner Johnson did it.
Okay. I don't know. Somehow I get those moments mixed up. But
But
yeah.
Slay was actually a lion. You,
Uh,
you started with the Lions. You
mm,
took him from Matt Patricia.
uh.
Did
Yeah,
Matt
well, he
Patricia?
talked to the Steelers. He'll
Matt
probably
Patricia.
make it help the Steelers defense a lot.
Him with
Could be a missing
Joey
piece for the
Porter Jr.
defense, but yeah, I don't think it'll be enough to get them really any further because that quarterback situation is still fucked. But it will make the defense a little more respectable. Really,
It'll
a
make
lot.
the because the Steelers made some moves. Well, a move particularly on the offensive side of the ball that I'm like, man, if they had a quarterback,
Yeah, that DK signing. Wow,
man, if they had a
they got
quarterback,
their number one. But neither one of them that's like them or the one or the two got that strong work ethic. So I don't know. At least
they
that's the
both.
reputation on both of them.
Mm,
DeKalen just needs to retire and take his ass to WWE. Like
wow,
straight up.
he gonna
I
run
ain't
away with
saying he
shit,
ain't
probably.
capable of playing football. Like he's a strong number one. Like he really is. I'm not disrespecting him, man. I'm just saying. Boy, big as shit. For no good
Yeah,
reason.
he is big as hell.
No
Two
good
thirty
fucking
eight.
reason.
238. He 2 pounds, 2 pounds away from Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. See what I mean? That boy big as fuck for no reason. But
Well,
you got now. Hopefully, big. Hopefully, he'll have a quarterback who can throw in the ball because who the hell's the quarterback?
Snoop Huntley.
I know that's one of them questions I got on my whole questions part, but I don't know if that'll be this episode or another one in the future.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, okay. So what else am I missing? Oren Burks, 2 years, 5 mil is Cincy. You got thoughts? You got feelings? Are you sad? To see him go? It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. It's so hard to say goodbye to my homies and that gangster lean. That gangster
I'll,
lean. Huh?
I think defensively, I think the Eagles will definitely miss Oren Burks. Oren Burks IQ. He's been like one of those fringe guys the past 2 years for the Eagles. Like he's been like uh one of those practice squad elevation go
What's that
home.
car?
Yeah, he's been that guy for the past 3 years, and like he's got great football IQ at that middle and inside linebacker spot. So with the Kobe Dean probably not coming back immediately next season, we'll probably miss like 4 to 8 games next season,
Eight,
allegedly.
8 games is a bunch.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it could include the
Hmm.
wait. It's not 4 games in the preseason anymore, so maybe four
Two.
games in the regular season.
Is there even a preseason anymore? It's
I don't
almost
know.
done, but
I don't know. Preseason don't matter no more because you like barely see your starters play in the preseason.
right.
Like, I remember back in the day, you used to see at least 1 or 2 series with your starters. You ain't getting
Right.
that at all no more. By sitting down, fucking pansies. Sorry.
No, I
I,
think you can
I,
still say pansy.
I can. You can say that now.
I don't know who that would offend, basically. If somebody gets offended by pansy, let us know in the comments and we'll give you a fake apology on air.
Yeah.
Pickens to Browns. What's the name? Dominique Thomas Thompson Robinson.
All right. I
DTR.
gotta. All right.
Down
I'm gonna
the
say this right
line.
now. Wow. I would have took Trey Lance over DTR. I would
No,
have.
ain't no way in hell Trey Lance. Trey Lance ain't allowed in Philly. He
I
ain't
would have
allowed to
taken
throw balls. He, at best, as a
Josh
camp body,
Dobbs.
he's not welcome. He's a camp body.
I would have taken Josh Dobbs. I would have taken
Yeah,
Sue
okay,
Huntley.
yeah.
I would have taken what's that old ass linebacker? I mean, old ass quarterback that played for the Ravens.
Josh Johnson?
Josh
I would always
Johnson.
take Josh Johnson. I would
Um,
always take Josh Johnson.
I would take the ghost of Pat White. I know he's not dead, but still,
Pat White is now an
Dominic.
assistant QB coach at West Virginia.
I would take
I believe
Achilles
Steve
Smith.
Slayton has also been hired there too.
I would take
Case Keenum,
no.
Mason Rudolph.
I would take Mason Rudolph over there. Whatever his name, DTR. I think they just took they said okay to DTR because his name sounds cool.
Cooper Rush. You said cool name, Cooper Rush.
I'll take Cooper Rush over DTR.
He sounds like the fucking second guy in an action movie about cars.
Down to run.
And this guy
That's
sounds
not like
like
a
the
movie
villain
name.
in that movie. Easton stick up his butt. would you take DTR over Easton stick up his butt?
No, that's a reach now. I wouldn't do that.
No. Okay. Well, Chris Berman used to get away with that shit. I can do it too.
That was funny because I
CJ
didn't
beat
know.
hard.
Call him that.
Probably walk outside with that name at all. I do not know.
CJ beat hard. Yeah. Demonetized.
All right. We were talking about CJ. Here's one you wanted to get into. He was traded to the Texans for Kenyon Green. How do you feel about that?
I don't like the trade. It did not help the team at all. It did not help the team at all because I don't think Kenyon Green's going to be the guy to step in for Mekhi Becton. I feel like Mekhi Becton will be an Eagle when the season starts. He will be an Eagle. He's going to be an Eagle by the time the draft hit. So I feel like it doesn't help the team. But I feel like this was, if what I've been hearing is true, is that C.J. Gardner Johnson is a big shit talker. Like he talks a lot of garbage and he gets people riled up, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes it's like where he directs what he's saying. Sometimes it's like the message it goes weird. It's kind of like reverse AJ Brown, where like AJ Brown doesn't say things to people directly, so you can't necessarily say that AJ Brown is coming at Jalen Hurts. Like if you do that, it's kind of like you're spinning it. But CJ Gardner Johnson's like the type that be like, yeah, we would be better if fucking Slay would have guarded that guy better. And then he'll be like, I'm sorry for what I said. That's what I get from CJ Gardner Johnson. Like he'll say some shit and be like, my bad. I shouldn't have said that. And I feel like maybe this was a message from the Eagles. Like, bro, go to the Texans. Just go to the Texans. I can't deal with you right now. Because I'll be honest, I don't think CJ Gardner Johnson is a need for the Texans. Like, I feel like they had a good safety, some good growing, developing safeties. Maybe he'll help them. I don't know. Maybe they'll move him to linebacker. I don't know. But Yeah, I feel like this is a message from him because he it's okay to be a shit talker, but it's too much of it. It's kind of takes away from the game. I mean, it's okay to talk
Maybe
shit to the
it's
people.
motivation for some people. It keeps them in the moment in the game. I don't know.
Like he
Sometimes
just seemed like the
it's
type.
just you get caught up in it. It's hard not to get
Yeah,
caught up when you're out there. And you mean you getting physical with motherfuckers? Of course you're going to talk shit. Your adrenaline up through the damn roof. You're ready to run through
absolutely.
walls, let alone people. I love a good shit talker. I'm quite fond of shit talking myself. I just say it
Absolutely.
eloquently because I have a high vocabulary. I ain't just gonna call you a dummy ass, dickhead ass, clown ass dude. I'm gonna say it and make it sound exquisite.
I agree
But
with
make
you. I agree with you, Boulevard. I 100% agree with you. I am all for shit talker on my team as long as he's shit talking everybody else on the other team. Like
yeah, don't
if
shit
you
talk your own team. I mean, that's a
like if
whole
your
different
quarterback
thing.
just get a 20-yard run and you run up to your quarterback in his ear like, bro, fucking dumbass nigga, why you fucking running, bitch ass, you stupid. Like type shit is
Stupid.
that? Like that's I felt like because I would get annoyed real fast. Like, why are you coming at me? Like, or like I'm the cornerback on the left side and you the safety on the left side, and I get burnt deep because I ain't getting no safety help over the top. And you talking shit to me like you was the safety that was supposed to give me safety help. And a lot of the times, CJ Gardner Johnson and Slay were on the same side. So many times when Slay got beat, CJ Gardner Johnson was getting beat at the same time. So it's like, why y'all talking shit to each other? Y'all two supposed to be, 1 and 2 on that side of the defense because it was always Quinion and Blank Blankenship on one side, and it was always CJ and Slay on the other. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was just that whole the trade. I feel like it doesn't help the Eagles. It does. I think it could help the Texans, but there's no benefit. And then the whole pick swap that bothered me, and it was a
Mhm.
26th pick at that. Like, why we gotta stretch it? Like, we couldn't get 25th picks, 25 picks. Like, what?
Can't always get that. I mean, some teams got plans for their picks. I don't know, but
I would have kept him another year if I did that shit.
basically, well, hell, he's off the books now. We got people to replace him possibly. I mean, you can bring in people, no doubt.
I'll be bringing in people.
There's still people you can pick up on a veterans minimum or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you yeah, you did get into that already.
Was
That
that?
it could have been a message from Howie telling
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey to shut the fuck up, basically. But yeah, did you get into that?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay, because I'm kind of was going forward to get into the next stuff. It's like,
Absolutely.
okay, I saw somewhere on one of them stupid talking head shows where they sit around for 3 hours saying nothing at all, just saying it loudly. And
Mm-hmm.
it brought up, okay, we all know what happened when the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts. Wentz
Yes.
folded like an umbrella quickly.
Mm.
Like he was walking in a house, and if they'd actually brought the umbrella in the house, it would have brought them bad luck that fast. Like they almost fell in the door, and they're like, "Oh shit!" kind of deal. Like that's how quickly he pulled it. He showed he just didn't have it mentally. Now that being said, let's say Howie, in all of his wisdom, decided he would take one of Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, or Jalen Monroe in the second round. How would a man like Jalen Hurts handle that? Would he break down fetal in the shower similar to Carson Wentz? Would he have to go take a long walk on the beach while a saxophone played in the background like Carson Wentz? Would he have to go put his feet up on a counselor's couch and laugh cry because the pain was just too immense for his soul to take anymore? Would he? Would Jalen Hurts react that way? How would Jalen Hurts react?
I don't think Jalen Hurts would react. It's just the way that Jalen Hurts is.
The whole point of this whole question is just for that. I've been sitting on this shit for like a week and a half just for that answer. No.
He would be like, welcome to the team. You want to keep the main thing the main thing?
Exactly.
Keep the main thing the main thing because it's a Philly thing. Whatever Jalen Hurts. But I think that if they're there, they're going to do it. They got to do it, and absolutely do it. Like I would. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't.
You got other pieces of need, more important pieces.
Oh well, yeah, but I feel like Jalen Hurts would welcome competition.
I mean, DTR and what's his name? Tanner McKee. Tanner McKee as the real backup now. I like it. I'm happy with that.
I am too. I thought he should have been the backup.
So I'm not worried about drafting another QB. Really, you're supposed to. I mean, you're supposed to, but not that high.
Who was it that Tanner McKee beat out for the fuck was it? He
Ian
beat
Book?
a quarter. What's it, Ian Book? Because it was in a preseason with it doesn't matter.
Third stringers aren't real people.
Yeah.
All right, that was one of my questions. One of my other questions for you. How bad does Hassan Reddick feel now? After getting traded to the city, signing with the team he claimed he wanted to play for, asking for big money immediately the next season, getting traded because he was overinflating his own value to another team, then not getting the contract there, getting released. And when you wanted $26 million and you were making about what, 12, 14, he ends up signing for 1 year, $14 million in Tampa Bay. So all of that process, he ended up getting the same damn number on a smaller deal, and he missed out on the possibility of getting a Super Bowl championship. How stupid does Hassan Reddick feel right now?
I think Hassan Reddick feels like an idiot. I think that, and you, what's it called? I feel like if Hassan Reddick didn't, I feel like a lot would have changed. We see a lot of different things that would have happened in Philadelphia if Hassan Reddick stayed in Philly.
Absolutely.
Would have had a Super Bowl. He would have got a Super Bowl ring. We wouldn't have buyer's remorse over Bryce Huff because he would not be here.
We'd have buyer's remorse over Hassan Reddick.
Maybe.
26. He wanted like 26 mil. He wanted to be paid on par with the other top ones. So that would have been an overpay. That's still at least 10 mil from where he's getting it now at that 14.
But even if he didn't get the money and he just played humble, got that Super Bowl ring, he might have gotten the money this year because he probably would have had more money because they wouldn't have spent the money that they spent on Bryce Huff.
I mean, they probably could have gave Saquon less through a few extra dollars Hassan's way, and all of this would have been avoided.
Hassan would have a Super Bowl ring, and now he's on a prove-it deal with Tampa Bay.
Just getting older and less valuable. Because now he's getting more known for his whining than his abilities on the field, because he barely saw the field last season at all, but he was still in the news because of his mouth. So he did it to himself. Sometimes when you bet on yourself, snake eyes, basically.
Snake. Yeah, baby.
And that's Hassan Reddick.
Wasn't he the one that while the team was in training camp, he was traveling the world?
Could be. Surprised it wasn't Hank Basket walking through Australian desert barefoot or some dumb shit. All right, there was a lot of talk last week between our now departed secondary members, CJ and Slay.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it was about the youth of the defense. And now, with all the losses, losing 6 or 7 defensive players and basically having rookies and rookie contracts there to replace it. Did they bring in a vet for the secondary? Or are the Eagles battle tested enough?
I think you need to bring in a veteran safety.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're an aging veteran, you need to bring somebody in. For one, and the main reason why is like, if you're going to trust one, if you're going to trust one of those rookies or one of those young guys, it's got to be Keely Ringo. You got to trust Keely Ringo. You can't trust Sid Brown. What the hell is wrong with him? Yeah, you can't trust Sid Brown. You can't trust Sid Brown. You gotta. I'm sorry. I'm a Sid Brown guy, but I'm not a Sid Brown guy at the same time.
Are.
Sid
You're
Brown,
more supportive than most fans I've seen.
Yeah, I like Sid Brown.
Mildly supportive of him. They have hope for him.
Yeah, I like Sid Brown, but I think at the end of the day, you got to, when it comes to, if you want to repeat, you want to go back to the big dance, Sid Brown is not it. You got to get somebody. Sid Brown is still a year away.
Well, let's see if he's still a year away, then he's plenty replaceable. But he's given the opportunity to at least earn that starting spot.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, gotta do it now.
Yeah,
you gotta do it now.
Because I would definitely invest in one of these secondary players. I mean, I'm gonna just go take a quick glance via Spot Track to see what's available in free agency at the secondary positions, starting at safety. Marcus Williams, Justin Simmons, former Eagle, Juan Thornhill's over there. Quandre Diggs, Kazee, Chuck Clark, Poyer. I didn't look specifically at strong safeties or anything. I'm just naming what I'm seeing on the screen. That's just safety. Cornerback would be Okuda. Obviously, Bradbury's out there, but we ain't talking about him. Whatever's left is Stephon Gilmore. You got C.J. Henderson. Shaquille Griffin. I mean, we're talking about veterans. My bad. You got Gilmore. You got Kendall Fuller. You got Rasul Douglas. He's been here before. Mike Hilton. I mean, Darby. He's been here before. Fucking Davius White. I believe he's been to a Pro Bowl or two in his day. He's still sitting out there. Why not? Point is, if you want a veteran, they're out there.
So it's funny that you said Justin Simmons, because we know that the talk was all there last, how much they wanted to bring Justin Simmons in. He was a big guy connected to Philadelphia up until he stopped at Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, so about a couple days ago, and I was actually like really shocked at this conversation that it was popped up, because it was basically, there was, and it can't be, nobody can say,
San Francisco 49ers signed Mac Jones to a 2-year, $7 million deal. Carry on. That was about 49. I just saw I got to put that out there.
Uh, oh, okay. So
The legend of Mac continues, I guess.
the return of the Mac.
Oh my
Well,
God! Bump, bump
this
the
is
world. There
the
I
Simmons
go.
situation is one of those things where like we can't say that it was an
There
alleged.
I am. No. Yeah.
There wasn't like there's no allegedly to this. This was actually video. I don't have the video, but there was video. Justin Simmons saying that if he could go anywhere, he'd like to have a reunion with Vic Fangio.
Neat.
He said he wants to go with Vic, and it was crazy because a few years ago they were saying that he doesn't like Vic Fangio. He's not a fan of Vic Fangio,
Mhm.
but it came from his mouth saying that if he could go anywhere, he'd like the reunion with Vic Fangio. This was a couple days ago. I was sitting here on my phone,
Mm.
sick as hell,
Sometimes the
watching
grass
video.
ain't always greener. Sometimes the grass is greener.
Hmm.
Mm.
Sometimes the grass is Kelly green. Mm. You switch from some orange and blue grass to
Grass
some
should
Kelly
always be
green.
Kelly green. Should always be Kelly green.
I was
Kelly
actually
green
this
is covered
is
up with
unrelated.
midnight green.
This is yeah. This is unrelated, but I was at work the other day and I saw something that said Kelly green, but the color was like olive, and I was like, that's not right. And someone tried to tell me that you don't know what you're talking about. Kelly green is dark green, and I'm like, bullshit. I'm an Eagles fan, and that's not Kelly green. That's not Kelly green. But I digress. I like I like the idea that Justin Simmons would be open to playing in Philly.
Yeah, he would fill that veteran role.
Yeah.
He would definitely fill that veteran role. But I got another one of them things for you. Let
Uh-oh.
me just my big news. I am like this big. Adam Thielen's going back to Carolina. They
Damn.
renegotiated. So there you go.
So we still don't got another three.
I'd like to see what we have in those two receivers. But
Damn, he's
that's
he
another
completely.
position where I'd definitely looking at getting some veteran help over there. I mean, I don't know how much Stephon Diggs would cost, but I'm sure it's out of our price range at this point. So,
He
yeah.
thinks he's out of price range. I don't think he's actually worth it.
Cooper Cup's possibly out of our price range. He's also available. Keenan Allen, Amari, Cooks, maybe Deontay Johnson. Would you be satisfied with Deontay Johnson as your third receiver?
The one that was scared to play
Mm-hmm.
against the Eagles? Hell yeah.
How about Tyler Lockett?
Hell yeah.
He catch the ball, he fall down. He's Tyler Lockett.
But listen, we don't need him to get the big yards. We got AJ and
Right?
Devontae for that. We just need him to catch the first down.
He just be like, ah!
Wasn't he like they said
That
that
was
the
so
rule
funny.
was wasn't the rule was it was like this whole thing. It was saying that he's the most untackled guy in the NFL.
Yeah. Or just be falling to the ground waiting. I mean, I gotta say, I like the possibility of bringing in Elijah Moore at receiver. I mean, it doesn't really fit that experience factor, but he's probably better than our rookies, and he's pretty young himself. So, but
Yeah, I'd be down with that. I'd
yeah,
I'd take a Wandell. No, it wasn't a Wandell. It was former receiver from Arizona, little dude. He's like 5'7". Fuck is this? Moore. It's not Moore. Elijah Moore. Uh,
Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's available, right?
Yep. Zach Pascal's available from Arizona.
That's
Yeah.
him. That's him. That's what I was talking about the other year, because we had Pascal, and then we had Paris Campbell. They both were former Colts receivers. Nick Sirianni picking from the same fucking group of guys that he'd been coaching his entire life.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nick Sirianni, I got a chance to watch his film. Have you saw his film?
No, I didn't know he was doing acting.
No, I'm talking about he was he he was a wide receiver in college. He was
Oh, yeah, kind
cooking,
of. Yeah,
cooking.
what a game.
He was cooking. He was
That
out there
boy
Travis Hunter and motherfuckers.
one of them super small schools. I don't even know how you get on the NFL radar as a coach from there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mm.
What else we got? We got
Humble beginnings. I got an idea for all that around the NFL stuff. So
yeah.
coming up on an hour, we can just throw that in the other one if you want to do that. Because it's almost time if we wanted to do that to do that.
Okay.
All right. Oh shit! Never mind. I ain't even prepared for that. Wait, watch me be prepared for that. All right, you can shut it down. We can shut it down. I can say you can say your words because I'd like to come right back with the next one.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We had some fun today. We really did. We had some laughs. We had our tears. No, we didn't. We don't give a shit. That CJ Gardner
I
Johnson is
don't
going.
cry. I don't want to
Um,
cry. Not a Mariah
but
Carey
I'll
song.
say but I'll say to you all something I haven't said all season. We can't all
Oh,
be
that's
starters.
easy.
I don't know if I'm bringing that back or not, but I know
Yeah.
the three most dynamic words on YouTube, Facebook, and any other platform. And Boulevard is the best when it comes to saying it. But Boulevard, would you please do us the honors and let these people know the three most dynamic words on those platforms that we have listed in our screen?
If you smell what the Rock is cooking,
No,
no. Hit the bench.
that one.
Oh,
Do that.
it's getting all warbly.
Hit the bench, I guess.